so many people grew up loving soaps, watching soaps. It was a generational thing. My grandmother, my mother, yada, yada. And you never, even at the time of growing up, I never once ever thought that the soaps, daytime drama, would start to kind of fade away. I mean, it just was unthinkable to think that, you know, you'd wake up and you wouldn't have your favorite soap on air. It just wasn't feasible. And then when it started happening, I think it really, you know, it really did shock fans, as well as, you know, all of you, I'm sure. But it just, even to this day, it's still hard to digest. I still have this little glimmer of hope that at some point down the road, especially now, you know, that One Life to Live and all my children are being resurrected, gosh, you know I have to have that glimmer of hope that Guiding Light and As the World Turns at some point will have that chance as well. You know. So and now you're doing all these great things on the web with the web series, and you've got all these great, you know, daytime actors there, and kudos to you for that, because you're making a lot of fans who have missed seeing them performing, you know, to be able to see them again somewhere. But you know, it'd be so cool if you could somehow if you could bring Guiding Light back, that would be awesome. I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there, but.
Well, that's really up to Procter and Gamble. They own the show, so it's up to them to decide what they want to do.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I miss them too.
Well, you know, I have a question about Otalia. Was it a shock to you and Jessica, since you had been with so many different men on there originally, and a shock to the fans? What kind of feedback did you get on that?
You know, they did a really beautiful job of telling the story slowly, which, you know, soaps I think had gotten away from. They sort of throw things on the wall and see what's going to stick, and tell a story too quickly. They took their time with this and really grew the relationship. So the audience got to see, you know, where they were coming from and how, you know, who they were together as friends, and then, you know, eventually showing that, you know, even without physical intimacy, there was this love that developed, and the feedback was amazing. People were very. There's always going to be that group of people who just don't believe in it or don't like you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, for the most part, I think what was so shocking to everybody was how well received it was. That there was a vast amount of open-heartedness and open-mindedness that they would, you know, invest in this story, in this relationship. So the feedback was pretty awesome, and amazing letters and people sharing their stories personally with me. And, I mean, I think it touched a lot of people in a very, very positive way.
And I think that's so important that other people understand about soaps. It's not just storytelling about things they make up in their mind, but it also touches, you know, real lives. And it also is done the right way, and it helps a lot of people.
Yes.
So with the million of questions I have, I want to cut back on those a little bit, because I did get a lot of emails with questions for you, and if you wouldn't mind, I'd like to bring some of those up. From Leanne Allen in the UK, she said, which of the characters that you have played over the years would you say you are the most like?
Oh, Lordy. You know, there's a little bit of me in everything that you have to, you know. I don't know. They're just bits and pieces. I'm a compilation of all those things, I suppose, all those characters. Because, you know, in order to play them, you have to relate to them on some level. So, you know, with Carly, you know, she's very direct and tries to be, you know, live a good life and does her best and cares genuinely about others. And with Maggie, a little dorky, and can't juggle. I can't juggle either. And Olivia, I what I appreciated about playing Olivia, one of the things I appreciated was that they wrote her in kind of a witty way, so she didn't have to be that sort of, straightforward, that she got to kind of go out there and say what she wanted to say, and Gina, Nico, they all have little bits of me, but I like I'm a no bullshit kind of girl, so I like that in those characters. There are little bits and pieces of me. There's no one that I say is most like me.
And even as a fan, we can all see ourselves in somebody, or at least one of the characters, if not more.
Yeah, of course, and that's the point, is to make them kind of relatable.
Right.
You may not like all of them, but you can relate.
Right, exactly. You pick the bits and pieces, and that makes you the whole person. From Carolyn 1202A on Twitter, she said, I enjoyed watching the Grove premiere, and I just love the cast you have assembled. They're perfect, and they look like they're enjoying their roles. Her question is, she'd love to hear about how you decided to cast Nadia as Marigold. She's so much fun to watch.
Nadia Bjorlin is a very dear friend of mine, but she's she's stunning. Obviously, there's the obvious aspects of Nadia.
Yes.
What people don't know about Nadia, other than the fact that she's really very, very smart, and she's funny. She's very, very funny, and I just wanted to create a character, to sort of a takeoff on the celebrities, the faux celebrities, and the people, the reality show aspect of people, and she brought this character to life. I mean, she came in with the get up and the pink nails and the gum, and I knew she would. She's a funny person. So, what we did was create a blueprint. And because I love actors and I love watching actors perform, I get so excited I forget that I need to go act. You know what I mean? I get so excited watching. So it was just fun to watch her pull this thing together. But those were her choices. The gum, the pink dress, the hairband. She pulled that together and just created a very funny character in Marigold.
And who else cracked me up? And cause some of the lines I didn't expect was Beth Maitland.
Oh my God, wasn't she great?
Yeah. Oh, she's wonderful. She's always been one of my favorites, Crystal. So I'm so glad you cast her in that.
And Bob
she's
Wood.
Brilliant. And again, I mean, everyone. Yeah, they all really. They came to the table with what you see. I just gave them, like I said, a blueprint and hope, you hope that everything comes together. But I knew that they were so talented and professional and disciplined that they got it. We had a table read to kind of hear what everyone was going to bring a couple weeks prior to shooting. So it was pretty great.
Well, I'm telling you, I am sitting on the edge of my seat waiting for the next episode to come out, because it is just so, so good. I mean, cool, everything you do, I just absolutely love.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome. So, and just congratulations on that pilot, because it is, as I watched it, I was just like, this is so needed and so necessary. I mean, it's like, we now know what we've been missing all this time. You've done a stellar job in that, and so I'm like Pam. I can't wait for that to come out, the second episode. I'm really, really sitting on the edge of my seat here.
Well, thank you. We're working on it. I mean, we're heading into Venice season 4 the end of February, and then after that, I'll go back to the Grove and just sort of alternate between the two shows.
Good, then we'll have something to watch all the time.
I know, that's so true. Thank you.
Cool.
And now I have from Dawn Wagner. She said, how long do you envision continuing your web series Venice and the Grove? And also, what can fans of these programs do to help support the program so you and your team have the resources to keep it going?
Just to continue what we've been doing. The shows have been able to cover themselves in terms of production costs. And so when we put up our sponsorships and subscriptions and merchandise, all of that goes into production. I do, I've said from the beginning, I'll be the last person to get paid. I put it, everything has gone back into production because I'm so enjoying myself. It's really it's hard, but it's been fun to produce. But I want to be able to pay my crew. I want to be able to pay my actors. Although I will say, Venice, my actors, my cast gets paid. The Grove, they came in. I said, that's one of the situations like in season 1 of Venice where I said, okay, so I'm not going to be able to pay you anything for this, but you want to come and do the show. But the idea is to eventually either keep it just sponsorship, the Grove sponsorship-based, meaning the fans buying these packages and sponsoring, or we may put it up as a subscription like we do with Venice. But that's it. Just watch and talk about it and Facebook it and tell your friends to Facebook it and, put it up there, put it out there. The more people who take an interest, the better.
Yeah, I'm always tweeting about it and putting on Facebook anything new that you come up. And Dawn is really good with running our website, and she puts everything on there as well. So we will definitely keep putting it out there for everybody because it would be sad for somebody to miss such phenomenal web series that you put out, no matter which one that you are producing at the time. And it also says a lot about the actors that you do have on there, that they're not worried about getting paid. It's just that they enjoy being an actor so much more.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, I feel very lucky. I grew up in the soap community, and that's where my career has been because I love the genre, and it's been because they've been so supportive. I'm very lucky to have the people that I have in my life, and they're talented. And it's like I said, it's just so fun to watch, different actors from shows that have different shows that have never worked together. For instance, Bob Woods and Michelle Safford. I got a text from Safford this morning talking about how much she loved that scene between her and Woods, and I'm like, you would never see those two, in the broadcasting time.
True.
World.
Yeah.
That's so true.
So and they developed such a beautiful relationship on camera. It's fun. I'm getting a kick out of all of it. So that's my reward.
Now, from Soap Fan Fiction on Twitter, her name is Stephanie. She said, have you ever thought of a part for other strong daytime females like Tamara Braun, Sarah Brown, or Eden Regal?
Oh, God, I'm a huge fan of all three of those ladies. Yeah, I mean, Tamara and I, tweet, and Sarah and I have a huge respect for Sarah. And Eden, she and her husband developed that wonderful web series, which is really, one of the first out there, if not the first. And, I mean, yes, always. I'm always thinking of using great talent in these projects. There's just only so many parts, and
right.
Me, if they're interested, I will definitely reach out to them.
And I'm sure that they'd be very happy to go and work with you as well. I wanted to touch on your book that you recently released, The Perfect Art of Imperfection, My Life So Far, which, like I told you earlier, I read, and you were quite honest in it, and not getting into details, but it's just a phenomenal book that I would love for everybody to read. A few of the fans that sent in emails were wondering if you were going to do a book tour with that.
Probably.
Probably.
At some point, yes. It's not in my near future, but part of what we're doing right now, we're taking the Grove to film festivals. Our first film festival is going to be in Macon, Georgia, next month. So we're